Okay, so in the last video we looked at given a table to fill out and then plotting those points. And hopefully between watching that video and this one you've also checked out how to graph equations on MyMathLab. We're going to look at graphing stuff by hand because I can describe that really well in the video. But basically the same idea that we're going to be using by hand is what you do using the MyMathLab graphing tool. So here we're given the equation x plus y equals 7. And so we're not told a table here. We're not told what values to pick. So we need to come up with our own values for x and y. We need to come up with our own values for x and y. So we can pick anything we want. So I might decide, let's make x 2. We want to kind of keep our values small. And that definitely relates to the graph. If you're graphing on MyMathLab, you need to be able to fit into the graphing tool that you're given. So here I'm going to pick x equals 2. I could have picked any number I wanted for x or y. I just decided 2 because it's kind of small. And so then I go into my equation and I replace x with 2. And now I have an equation to solve for y. And it turns out that equation's pretty basic. It's not overly complicated. I just have to bring the 2 over to the other side. And that tells me that y equals 5. And so I'm going to mark that in my chart. And to kind of indicate that it was a value we solved for, I marked it in blue, just to make it stand out. Now that's one point on our graph. We need a second point. So we could pick another number for x, or we could pick a number for y. And I just happened to pick a number for y. So I plugged in y equals 4. And then I go ahead and put that into my equation. And that gives me x plus 4 equals 7. And then I solve that equation for x by bringing the 4 over. And I get x equals 3. And again, I just plug that into my table. X equals 3. At this point I have my 2 points, which is all I need to be able to graph it. 2, 5, and 3, 4. So we pull our graph up. And I got a little bit ahead of you there. So the first point is 2, 5. So again, that's going to be over 2 to the left, up 5, and then we plot our first point. So right there at 2 and at 5. And then my second point is 3, 4. So we would go over 3 on the x, up 4 on the y, and plot our point. So you can see there it is at 3 and at 4. And then we have our 2 points. And if you're doing this on the computer, on MyMathLab, you'd use the line tool, click for your first point, and then click for your second point to draw the line. And then we go ahead and we just draw the line. So we take the straight line that goes through those 2 points. And now we have the graph of that line.